Some of you may know that back in, I think it was June or July, when this All Squared Away bundle first came out, I offered an online class, a class to go using this. And because this is on sale again, or not again, it's on sale, I am bringing this class back. It sold out very quickly when I first offered it, but everything that I used in it is still available, and so I thought, why not? Some of you maybe weren't aware of how amazing the bundle was when it first came out, and now you will be aware of it because I'm going to show you how amazing it is. We are going to make a shaker card using this bundle, and it's going to be super cute. It's not a card that's in the class. This is just a card that I came up with kind of on the whim today. It was inspired by another card that I had made many months ago. And I thought, oh my gosh, that would make an adorable shaker card. So I've got a couple of shaker windows here just in case I screw one up, prepared, got to be prepared. I'm going to bring in my mini machine here, and we're going to die cut a couple of things. So it comes with your, of course, your main plate there. Whoops, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to spin that around. My main plate, plate 1, and then my 2 cutting pads. And so I've also got my little die tray here. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these. I've had this for a really long time. I did find them on Amazon, so they are linked below if you're interested. They're little magnetic trays, and I keep them by my die cutting machines because little tiny dies like this can get lost very easily. So when I'm die cutting things and I'm done with the die, I just toss it and the tray catches it and keeps it in there for me until I'm done. I can put them all back in the container and put them away without anything happening to them. Now I did cut myself a circle out of some designer series paper and put it in there just because I thought that was pretty, a little bit more pretty. I did link just the singles, just the small circles, and then I did link a set. There's one that has kind of a larger rectangle tray and 2 small circles, or I think you can just get the single circle. So anyway, this is one of my crafty favorites that I just I can't live without, because I have lost a die before, which I'm sure maybe we all have. And it's not fun because then you have to buy a whole set to get one die if you lose it. So nobody wants to do that. We've got other things to spend our money on than duplicate items. Okay, so I am going to die cut this one again. I only need the leaves though, and then the flower that matches it. So I'm going to put both of these on my little mini machine here. And I'm going to kind of stagger them so you can see that my bottom plate sticks out farther than my middle plate. And then I'm going to put my top plate on, and it's going to kind of line up with my first plate. And then I am going to run this through. There we go. Okay. So then we have the leaves and we have the little tiny flower. There you go. Okay. So we can put our little mini machine away for the moment. All right, so move that out of the way, put my dies back in there so I don't lose them. Okay, so I just need the leaves. Why the stagger sandwich? A lot of times when you push it into the machine, if you have them all lined up at the edge, the machine doesn't have anything to grab onto. You want to give it something to grab onto. So by having it kind of squished together ahead of one of the plates, it's got a little bit more of something to grab onto, and it'll pull it through a little bit easier, I have found. So I am going to trim out these leaves, and I'm just going to cut straight across on the line. I'm not going to like trim. They're going to look kind of weird, but when I get them onto the card, you're going to go, oh yeah, I see why you did it like that. All right, and we will do that. And then I'm going to snip off the flower like that. Okay, so I can bring in my white things again. So this, I just ran this through, and I had to run this through my bigger machine because my piece of cardstock is a little bit too wide and it won't go through the small machine. So that's okay though. So I'm going to add these pieces. So this die set does this on purpose. So you have the little square piece, and then you have the flowers to add to that. Whoops, that's not how that goes. It must go like this. There we go. Not too tough to line that up. And I should tell you, I am using that shimmer vellum. Can you guys see the shimmer in that? It is fantastic. It is the In Color Shimmer Vellum, and it's part of my class. This all Squared Away class does use the In Color Shimmer Vellum. And you can see how shiny that is. So funny, or so fun, so funny. What am I thinking? It's got all the In Colors. It's very, very shiny. And there we go. We love it. Okay, so, wow, that was super loud. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to add some glue on my little leaves here. And then we're going to add our Granny Apple green leaves to this. Okay, so now you can see why I didn't actually like trim them out perfectly, because it fits in there really nicely just by cutting them straight across. There we go. So that is our fun little piece there. So now on the front of this, I am going to stamp a sentiment. And there are two sentiments in here that kind of work perfect for birthdays. One of them says, "The best thing about today is you." And that's the one I'm going to put on the outside. And I'm going to do that in the polished pink. So let me sort of see if I can get this on here straight. I think that's pretty straight. We'll do that. Okay. So then I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to drop my little piece in the window, and we are going to add a window sheet. So I have cut, where did it go? Here it is. It's a clear, we sell these in the catalog. They're just called window sheets. And so I am going to put glue on the back of this, on my little leaves. And I'm not putting a ton. I just need enough glue that the window sheet stays in place. Okay. Then I'm also going to put some glue on the outside of the window. Now remember, this is the back side of the main layer here, which, oh, I forgot to tell you what it measures. Let me focus first. Okay. So I'm just going to press the window sheet into the glue. And since I didn't go crazy, it's not squirting out all over the place. Okay. So that's what we have so far. Then I am going to bring in a strip of Whisper, no, not Whisper White. We don't sell Whisper White anymore. It's Basic White. Oh, that's going to be one of those things that's going to live with me forever. Basic White. And I have a scratch paper here. And I'm going to add a tiny bit of adhesive on this. Whoops. My seal is, where's my silicone mat? Is not running. So I'm going to run it onto my silicone mat just a tiny bit. And I'm going to add a tiny bit of glue on two spots here. And then I'm going to put this strip on. I'm going to line it up just because it's going to make, this is just going to make it easier for me to stamp it straight. If you don't care if it's straight, then don't bother doing this. Okay. I've got some Daffodil Delight ink. And then I have one of the cute little background images that comes in the stamp set. So remember, this bundle is 20% off. So I think it's originally like $50, and then they discount it 20%, and that makes it $40. So it's not really an expensive bundle when you think about it. So we're going to use this kind of squiggly little background piece, and I'm going to ink this up in the daffodil. Well, actually, this probably doesn't even matter if it's straight, but I'm kind of, you know me. So I'm going to line it up so that the top of the stamp is at the top of, I could just say white. I probably should. At the top of the line there. And then that's going to help me hopefully keep this thing straight. Okay. So we have that done. Oh, I also need to stamp it on another little piece. So this is a 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 square. And we are going to try to get this centered. I can't see. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring in a darker piece of cardstock, and that will help me. So if I bring in a black card layer, now I can see where the white is on the outer edges, because I want to kind of try to get it right in the middle of this. Okay. All right. So we have those pieces done. Now we're going to kind of peel this off of our sticky. We don't need that. Got our card base here. This is polished pink. This is 8.5 by 5.5. And so I'm going to do a little burnishing there. And I am going to add some glue to the back of this. And I could use seal or liquid glue. I'm going to use liquid glue just because in case I don't get it on there right away, I can wiggle it around a little bit. So I'm going to line my card up with some of these dark lines, and then this is going to help me determine where I'm going to put this, and it will help me make it straight across. So I am lining it up with this dotted line right here on both sides. Okay. Press that into place. And then it is a little bit long. So it was 1 1/4 by 4 1/4, but I might have cut it a little bit long. Obviously I cut it a little bit long, but that's okay. All right. So now we're going to bring our other piece back in, and now we are going to bring in our foam adhesive strips. Our foam adhesive strips, these are the perfect thing to make shaker cards. Oh my, I just pulled that off like a crazy person, and the adhesive backing piece flew off. I should have been a little more delicate with it, apparently. So we're going to do this. We're going to put it back on the sheet and try to get that. I think we kind of got it good enough. Now we're going to gently pull it off, and I'm going to go around my window. So I'm just going to kind of follow the little window here, and then I'm going to snip it off. Come back and follow the little window. I want to make sure that I don't get it on the inside so that you can't see it. Somebody said I'm magic when I make a card. Oh my gosh, Debbie, you are so sweet. Thank you. And like that. And then we should have either too much or just enough to do the top. I'm actually going to snip some of that off because I want this to be in between these two if I can get it. It doesn't have to be, but you know me, I'm a little bit anal, and that's the way I want it. So that's why it's going to happen. Okay. So we have our window down. So now I have this little yellow piece, and I'm going to stick that along with these Sparkle and Shine sequins. How is there yellow all over that? I must have stuck my ink pen on here. Let me rub off my hands because I probably have some stuff on it. I am taking some of these little sequin things, the Sparkle and Shine sequins assortment, and I've just dumped some in there, okay? Now this little piece here, I'm going to put, whoops, it's not quite. I'm going to snip a little bit of it off. I guess I should have been paying more attention. You do need to cut pretty close to the edges of this if you want to do it like this, which when I'm done, you're going to say yes, because it's really cute. Okay, so that's going to go inside there, okay? Now I'm going to add some glue. I'm doing this just because I want this layer to be like even in there. I want it to be in the center, kind of. I'm going to peel off the little backing strips of these adhesive, what are they called again? Foam adhesive strips. Okay, and we do have some glue on this. I'm just going to kind of move it around with my scissors, get it lined up so it's fairly centered, and then we're going to cover the whole thing with this piece of white. Okay, so now the white layer is sticking to that other white thing that's in there, and then look at that. When I flip it over, it has this adorable little yellow background, and then we have our little fun guys screwing around, floating around in there. Now, you're probably going to ask me, why didn't you just like stamp this yellow piece on like, you know, a bigger layer and then, you know, try to get it on there like that? I don't think you can. If I was to have stamped this yellow piece on a bigger layer, I would have to tip this up. I would have to like, I wouldn't be able to have all the shaker bits in there. They'd fall out. And if I did it like this, and I had the stamped image here, I'd have to somehow try to finagle that so that you could see it through the window. There's no way I could manage that. So I came up with that little trick of stamping this fun little background piece, trimming around it, plopping it inside there on top of my bits, and then covering it with another piece of white. And that way, there it is. It's perfectly in there, and it just looks amazing. So sometimes, you know, I get a win, you know, with my brain. Sometimes I think of things and I go, oh yeah, that would be a great idea. Okay, so I'm going to take this same image and I'm going to clean it off because I want to do a little bit of stamping along the bottom edge on the inside of my card. All right, so I'm going to bring my scratch paper back in, and I'm going to kind of line this up again on the grids. Okay, so I'm going to do the polished pink on the bottom of this layer. And so I'm just going to kind of use the stamp, you know, the edges of the stamp as my guide. So I'm going to start at the bottom here. I'm going to do it kind of in the middle. And then I'm going to try to get it on either side. So we'll see what happens. It might work. It might not. So it's not perfect, but hey, you know, what and who is? Nothing. There we go. So it's just a little bit of interest on the inside of the card, a little bit of fun. Then I have my other sentiment that's going to go in there. So this one says, happiest birthday to you. And we're just going to stamp this right here in the middle. And then I'm going to close up my ink because I have a feeling that I'm going to end up touching it, and then that's going to make me sad. All right, so I did go ahead and cut another one of these fun little flowers out of that pink shimmer vellum. And because it's got the shimmer on there, for some reason, the glue doesn't show through as much as it does on regular vellum. So I just wanted to add a little flower to the inside just because I thought that would be so cute. And now we're going to add this to the inside of the card. So if you guys are interested in making some more cards with this fantastic bundle, please check out my online class that I'm bringing back. You can find the information on my blog at barbstamps.com, or you can email me. It's probably somewhere on my Facebook page, just wherever. All right, so here, now we're going to add this to the front, and it kind of looks like, you know, that little design goes all the way, you know, through the whole thing. So we kind of did a little bit of a tricky thing there. But we need to make sure that the rest of our card is the same level as this inside piece. And so the only way to really do that is to use another one of these strips instead of dimensionals. Okay, so these strips are going to be, this is going to be my dimensional. So I am going to put a couple of these pieces on here. And that way, then the height of the card will be the same all the way around it. Okay, I'm going to grab one more little strip here. And again, shaker cards are really fun, and they really aren't that hard. Now, I did a lot of putzing around. You wouldn't necessarily need to do all that putzing around that I did to get that little yellow thing back there. You could skip that completely. But now you know how to do it, so you might want to do it. Okay, there we go. So we have equal height all the way around the whole thing. We have fun on the inside. Then the last thing I decided I wanted to do with this was to add a rhinestone. I have a whole bunch of rhinestones here. Certainly I can find a rhinestone. All right, so I'm going to add just a little rhinestone to the center of my flower. There we go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun making that card today. And now I also made a second one. Okay, I did not like this one as well. It's probably my color combination. I wasn't as big of a fan of this color combination as I was this one, just because this is so bright and fun. And that was the look I was going for. This isn't, not that it's a bad card. It's just not bright and fun like I had envisioned in my brain. And so I don't like it as well. But it uses fresh freesia, blackberry bliss, and soft succulent are the colors on that. And again, it's not a bad card, but it just wasn't the look that I was going for. Hope you guys like that. And the little shaker bits are so cute. Okay.